In June 2022, at the Continental Tour Gold meeting in Florence, a race took place over a distance that does not appear at any Olympics or World Championship. 300 meters, 10 hurdles, and a field that included some of the best 400-meter hurdlers in Europe. The pacing model for this event is almost entirely self-determined. There are no championship precedents, no tactical templates. You run on instinct, fitness, and technique. Femke Bol, 22 years old, already an Olympic medalist, entered as the clear favorite. Victoria Tkachuk and Ryzhykova lined up alongside her. Neither was there to fill a lane. What happened over the next 37 seconds had analysts re-watching the footage frame by frame for weeks. Pay close attention from the gun, and especially watch what happens at the final 3 barriers. .86 seconds. That number rewrote the record books for the 300 meters hurdles in 2022. The previous world best sat somewhere in the high 38s, dropping nearly 2 full seconds in a single race, in a non-championship event, early in the season, points to something beyond a good day. It points to complete mastery of a discipline most elite athletes treat as a training tool. So why did this performance hit so differently? And what does a 36.86 tell us about Femke Bol that her 400 meters hurdles times couldn't? The 300 meters hurdles doesn't appear on any Olympic or World Championship program. It sits in a gray zone between sprint and endurance, between the flat 300 and the full 400 hurdles. Athletes use it to pressure test their rhythm under race conditions without the full metabolic cost of a 400. Florence, June 2022, World Athletics Continental Tour. The field included Victoria Tkachuk and Anna Ryzhykova, both experienced international 400-meter hurdlers, both capable of running personal bests. On paper, a competitive field with genuine depth. But the question that should frame everything that follows is this: why did Bol not just win, but win by a margin that made the rest of the field look like they were running a different race? The answer isn't top speed. It's not raw strength either. It's a specific, measurable quality almost no analyst talks about: technical economy under progressive lactate accumulation. In plain terms, how well does your form hold when your body is screaming to tighten? Over the opening 100 meters, Bol's stride pattern averaged roughly 2.5 meters per step, with a cadence close to 4.8 strides per second. These numbers aren't exceptional on their own. What matters is the absence of deviation. Many hurdlers come out hard, posting a fast early split, roughly 10.8 to 10.9 seconds for the first 100, then absorb an efficiency loss as lactic acid climbs. Bol's first 100 was controlled, not explosive. The investment was in rhythm, not raw velocity. That choice costs fractions of a second early. It pays back compounded in the final 80 meters. Her hurdle clearance in the opening phase showed a lead leg snap angle of roughly 14 degrees above horizontal, low, flat, and fast. The trail leg pulled through tight with minimal lateral rotation. This matters. Every unnecessary degree of rotation in the trail leg adds time in the air and disrupts the stride cycle on landing. Bol's clearance profile wasted almost nothing. The time between hurdle contact and the next full stride landing stayed minimal, maintaining momentum through the barriers rather than recovering from them. The strangest part? She wasn't visibly accelerating through the mid-race. Viewers watching in real time described her as smooth, almost understated. What looked like cruise control was actually the setup for the decisive phase. At the 200-meter mark, the race entered its critical corridor. A competitively paced 300 meters hurdles requires the athlete to distribute effort across 3 metabolic zones: the initial phosphocreatine burst in the first 60 meters, the glycolytic climb through the middle 150, and the brutal lactic clearance phase through the last 80. Most athletes enter that final phase already compromised: stride length contracting, cadence dropping, lead leg clearance angle rising as the hip flexors fatigue. Bol did the opposite. Her stride length held above 2.4 meters into the final 80 meters. Her cadence didn't drop. It marginally increased to roughly 4.9 steps per second in the closing phase. That is the measurable signature of what coaches call finishing power, and it's extraordinarily rare at this event distance. Tkachuk and Ryzhykova, both running well, both posting personal bests, began to show the normal deceleration signatures: tightening shoulders, slightly elevated clearance angles, fractionally longer ground contact time. Their times were outstanding. Bol's time was from a different category. Here's the take that might generate some disagreement. The 300 meters hurdles world best has historically been undervalued as a performance metric. When analysts project 400 meters hurdles potential, they rely almost entirely on flat 400 meters times and recent 400H results. A 36.86 over 300 hurdles, paced correctly, implies a speed endurance reserve suggesting Bol was capable of running the 400 hurdles in the 52.2 to 52.5 range at peak form that season, numbers that would have challenged the top end of global competition. That projection follows directly from the metabolic model. What do you think? Does a performance like this prove the 300-meter hurdles deserves a permanent place on the Continental Tour calendar? Or is it too specialized to matter? That's worth a comment. What this race teaches about the 400-meter hurdles, and about Bol specifically, comes down to one principle. Technical maintenance under fatigue is a trainable physical quality, and it predicts race outcome more reliably than peak speed. Every hurdler in this field had enough speed to run fast in isolation. The separator was who could sustain form mechanics past the point where the body wants to abandon them. The deciding factor wasn't Bol's lead leg. It wasn't her reaction off the start. It was her postural stability, her ability to keep her center of mass low and forward through the final 3 barriers, when every physiological signal is telling the body to sit back and grind. That 36.86 wasn't the product of a good day. It was the product of a technical system that functions under maximum biological stress. When you watch any future 400 meters hurdles race at elite level, watch the 8th and 9th barriers. That's where technical economy separates the field. The athlete who looks the most relaxed at that point, not the one who looked fastest at the halfway mark, is almost always the one who wins. Florence 2022 was a 300-meter proof of concept for that principle. If this breakdown changed how you read a hurdles race, subscribe. Every week we go deeper into what the broadcast camera misses. Drop a question below. What other race or performance should we break down next?